The gangster rap world has been shaken again, this time by the violent death of the performer known as Notorious B.I.G.
New footage of Biggie's drive-by shooting has just surfaced. And nah, this isn't recycled tape or blurry leftovers from the 90s. This is something different. Something nobody expected to ever see. Secrets. Hidden movements. Details that were never part of the official story. And the moment it appeared in 50 Cent's Netflix series, the entire internet froze. Because what we're looking at here isn't just history. It's a receipt. For nearly 30 years, people have argued about Biggie's final night. East Coast versus West Coast. Street rumors. Police theories. Industry whispers. But this newly revealed clip pulled out angles no one even knew existed. No dramatic warning. No build-up. The footage slid in quietly, almost sneaky, like it had been waiting decades for the right moment to explode. And once that frame lit up, one thing became obvious. There's a reason this tape stayed buried. The angle nobody ever talked about. This wasn't footage from museum cameras. Not hotel security. Not the angles investigators always referenced. This camera was higher, cleaner, closer, almost like whoever placed it knew exactly where to look. Suddenly, Biggie's final moments didn't feel simple anymore. Every shadow mattered. Every car felt intentional. Every movement looked like a clue people ignored for years. You see Biggie's SUV, headlights cutting through the night, traffic flowing normally, regular people living regular lives, completely unaware they're seconds away from witnessing one of hip-hop's greatest losses. Then, the mystery car enters the frame. Slow. Too slow. Not lost. Not confused. Not passing through. This was deliberate. The internet caught it instantly. People started pausing, zooming, enhancing frames like detectives. And that's when old rumors started lining up a little too perfectly. The positioning. The driver's posture. The way the car glided in without hesitation. Suddenly, pieces that never fit before had shape. What hit hardest wasn't just what the footage showed, but what it suggested. Like someone had this tape the whole time. Like silence was chosen over truth. The night Biggie was taken. March 9th, Los Angeles. The vibe wasn't chaotic. Felt normal, almost too normal. Biggie had been moving with his crew, doing industry rounds, smiling for cameras, showing love, promoting, enjoying the moment, even though he knew LA wasn't the safest place for him. The Peterson party was packed. Music loud. Industry heads everywhere. Flashing lights. Conversations overlapping. But beneath all that noise, something tense was simmering. Biggie wasn't reckless. He had security. He had his circle. He moved carefully. But fame hits different when danger's been following you all year. When the party ended, the streets flooded with people. Cars lined up. Cameras flashing. Time felt fast and slow at the same time. Biggie stepped into the SUV. Calm. Confident. The convoy pulled off. Then the light at Fairfax turned red. That pause, that stillness, always disturbed people. Cars idling. Engines humming. Biggie leaning back in the passenger seat. Nothing unusual. Until it happened. That same mystery car rolled up on the right with surgical precision. No hesitation. No wobble. The driver's posture stayed calm. Then the window dropped. Shots cracked through the night. Chaos exploded. Tires screeched. Security panicked. The convoy jolted forward. And Biggie, the voice that changed hip-hop forever, was hit before anyone could react. The suspect vehicle didn't speed away. That's the part that never sat right. It glided off smoothly, like it had done this before. Hidden clues people missed for 27 years. When people slowed the new footage frame by frame, everything changed. The mystery car's positioning wasn't natural. It didn't squeeze in. It didn't drift. It appeared at the exact moment Biggie's SUV was trapped at the light, like someone knew the route. Then there's the driver. You don't see the face, but the posture says everything. No panic. No hesitation. This wasn't emotion. This was a mission. Then came the flash, not the muzzle flash, but a reflection off chrome right before the shots. A tiny glint that made people rewind again and again. A signal? An adjustment? Nobody ever mentioned it before. And in the far edge of the frame, something else. Another vehicle. Creeping. Stopping. Backing away. Too smooth to be random. The tape doesn't shout these details. It whispers them. And whispers are often more dangerous than screams. Why was this footage hidden for so long? That's the real question. Footage like this doesn't just disappear. Someone had to log it, label it, decide if it mattered. And for it to stay unseen for nearly 30 years, someone made a choice. Some say it was buried in an archive. Others think it was flagged as too sensitive. Back then, the tension between the LAPD and hip-hop wasn't quiet. It was loud, messy, political. And when footage threatens the timeline, suddenly things go missing. The timing of the reveal raised even more eyebrows. Why now? Why Netflix? Why 50 Cent? Because there's a difference between lost footage and hidden footage. Lost footage stumbles out by accident. Hidden footage arrives when the moment is right. And this clip didn't stumble out. It arrived. Why 50 Cent dropped it. This wasn't nostalgia. This was calculated. 50 didn't over-explain. He didn't dramatize. He let the footage speak. He put the power back into the public's hands, forcing viewers to notice what investigators should have years ago. The clip doesn't answer everything. Teases, points, keeps the mystery alive. And that's the genius of it. Shockwaves through hip-hop. The reaction was instant. Forums exploded. Social media went wild. Artists, legends, and fans all jumped in, replaying, debating, dissecting every frame. Biggie's influence runs deep. For his family, especially his mother Valletta Wallace, the footage reopened old wounds. Pride mixed with pain and unanswered questions. This wasn't just a viral moment. It was a cultural event. A reminder that Biggie's story still isn't finished. New eyes, new questions, old secrets resurfacing. And that's exactly the conversation 50 Cent wanted to ignite. The detail that changes everything. And here's the part that still has people sitting in silence after the screen goes black. When viewers slowed the footage down one last time, not the car, not the shooter, the background, something appeared that nobody was prepared for. A second vehicle. Not speeding. Not fleeing. Waiting. It sits just far enough back to avoid attention. The moment the shots ring out, it doesn't panic. It doesn't rush forward. It backs away slowly, like it already knew its job was done. And that's when the realization hits. This wasn't a random drive-by. This wasn't chaos. This was coordination. 2 cars. 2 rolls. 1 moment. If that second vehicle really was part of the setup, then Biggie wasn't just caught at a red light, he was boxed in. And that changes everything people thought they knew about that night. The question no one wants to ask. Because now you have to ask the question that makes everyone uncomfortable. If this angle existed, if these movements were visible, if this level of planning was on tape, who saw it first? And more importantly, who decided we weren't supposed to? Because footage like this doesn't stay hidden by accident for 27 years. It stays hidden because it threatens people who were never meant to be named. The final truth. The scariest part isn't what the footage shows. It's what it proves. Biggie didn't die in confusion. He didn't die in chaos. He died in a moment that was quiet, controlled, and executed exactly as planned. And if that's true, then the biggest lie about Biggie's murder isn't who pulled the trigger. It's that the truth was never lost. It was protected. And now that this footage is out, even for a few seconds, the story can never go back to sleep. Because somebody out there knows exactly what we're seeing. And they've been watching us argue about it for decades. The moment that shouldn't exist. And here's where it stops feeling like history and starts feeling like a cover-up. When the footage is slowed to its absolute limit, frame by frame, something appears that never belonged in the official story. Not the shooter, not the SUV, the timing. The mystery car doesn't react to the red light. It arrives with it, almost like the light was part of the plan. And right before the window drops, a fraction of a second, the driver's head tilts. Not panic, not hesitation, acknowledgement, like someone off camera just confirmed. Now, the second car wasn't there to help. That background vehicle everyone noticed? It doesn't chase. It doesn't flee. It waits. And when the shots are fired, it doesn't flinch. It backs off calmly, not like a witness, but like a role that's already finished. That's when the worst realization hits. This wasn't one person making a move. This was a system working exactly as designed. One car to trap. One car to fire. One moment to end it. No mistakes. No confusion. The most terrifying part. Here's what nobody wants to say out loud. If this footage exists, this clear, this intentional, then Biggie's death was never a mystery. It was a decision. And decisions don't happen in the dark. They happen with planning, with silence, with people agreeing not to talk. Which means the most disturbing possibility isn't who pulled the trigger. It's who knew it was coming. The lie we've been living with. For decades, the world was told the truth got lost. But watching this footage now, one thing feels impossible to ignore. Nothing here looks accidental. Nothing looks rushed. Nothing looks unplanned. Biggie wasn't taken by chaos. He was taken by precision. And when you realize that, when it finally sinks in, you understand why this tape stayed hidden for nearly 30 years. Because it doesn't just reopen a case. It exposes a silence that was agreed upon. Final line, let it sit in silence. Biggie Smalls didn't leave us with unanswered questions. He left us with answers that somebody made sure we were never meant to see. And now that we have, the only real question left is, who's been protecting the truth this whole time?